Welcome to Quality Branding Hub. The channel is for the quality control engineer, site engineer, and the civil engineer who are working in the construction field. In this channel, we are dealing with anything and everything which is required to get success in the construction. So, what about success? Success is all about the project as well as the engineer who are working in the project, that is civil engineer, site engineer, and the quality engineer. We are discussing the career success strategy in this channel also. So, what is today's topics? Today's topics is also very important topics about the concrete. Rather, it's about the ingredient of the concrete. One of the most important ingredient in the concrete is aggregates. But whenever we are doing the design, we are always making that it's crushed angular aggregate. Now, why it is angular? Why not others, or why not other shape? So in today's video, I will discuss all about why we are using crushed angular aggregates in the concrete. So stay tuned until the end to get the full information. And if you are new in my channel, kindly subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video, you will get immediate notification. So without wasting time, let's jump into the subject, that is why crushed angular aggregates in the concrete. Now, the concrete, what is concrete? That we all know that concrete is a homogeneous paste consisting of cement, coarse aggregate, fine aggregate, and water. So when you add water into the mix, it reacts with the cement and making CSH gel, and it's combined as a binder, make a homogeneous paste. That we call the concrete. And concrete has very much properties, strength, durability. So strength and durability totally depends upon is the ingredients of the concrete. It depends on the water we are using, it depends on the cement we are using, it depends on the aggregate we are using. So one of the main ingredient is the aggregate, that's a coarse aggregate. Now the size also is matters. So that is why angular aggregates is preferable in the concrete mix. Now why angular aggregates? So for that, first you need to know what is an angular aggregates. The angular aggregates are generally composed of well defined edges. That means it's not round or it's not a particular shape, it's well defined edges, and these are formed by the crushing the bedrock such as limestone or granite. These aggregates have irregular shapes, are primarily sourced from the natural rock formation. So where from are we getting? From the natural rock formation, and we are crushing this bedrock and make it a crushed angular in different size, because size is also important. We have 80 mm, we have 40 mm, we have 20 mm, we have 10 mm, we have 6.5 mm. These are the different size. That is also important in our concrete, that I will discuss one by one. So these are the crushed angular aggregates. Now we have the rounded one, but we are not using the rounded one, we are using the angular one. Why? The main purpose is the strength, interlocking, durability, water demand. Now aggregate also using in the asphalt. So asphalt compaction is also is a one of the main criteria, but we are not discussing that today. We are only concerning about the concrete. Then segregation control, stability and durability. Now first things, when we think about the concrete, we think about the strength. So first part of the concrete mix design is the strength. What is the target strength? Now what is the strength, how we can increase? So the angular aggregates enhance the compressive strength in the concrete. It improves the bonding with the cement paste, leading to a stronger concrete. Now why it's bond with the concrete or the CSH gel, which is forming, or the binder? Because it's the irregular shape and the simplicity are more, and if the irregular shape is there, the friction or the connecting interlocking power is more. That is why it gives the more strength. We are not saying that we are not using the rounded one, you are also using the rounded one, but the crushed angular one gives the better strength in the concrete. Now the interlocking, that is also another property of interlocking that I already discussed, that concrete is not a single material, it's a homogeneous mix from different material. Now we need to bind all the material together to keep it a homogeneous paste. So for that, the interlocking property is more important. For the crushed angular stone, this is shape and the surface friction is more applicable to interlocking property rather than the rounded one. So that is why for the interlocking, which is gives the strength and durability in the concrete, and it makes together bonding. That is why this crust angular stone things the strength aggregate is important. That is why you are using the crust angular strength. The interlocking property of angular provides the better stability of the structure. So concrete you are doing for the better stability for the 100 years, 90 years for the lifespan, so that this interlocking property gives the better stability. The irregular shape result in a higher void content affecting the mix. That can also a problem, but how we minimize that one? We are mixing the aggregates different size, 20 mm, 10 mm, 6.5 mm. Why? The voids what you have in the 20 mm aggregate, it can be filled with the 10 mm aggregates. So there will be less void. So that in that way we are minimizing this void impact. Now this also reduces the concrete workability when compared to the rounded aggregates, because it's not moving easily. That is why also it gives the segregation control. That is coming on the next part, that the segregation is a very difficult or is a problem for the concrete. Now what is segregation? The segregation is separation of its ingredient from the concrete is called the segregation, but the angular one has the better segregation control than the rounded one. It has found so many times that the ingredients of the concrete is segregated during the placement, but if we are using the rounded one, it has the control over the segregation. Now water demand is high for the crushed angular one, but we can reduces it by using the water reducing admixture. Now these are the main component of the crushed angular stone. Why this crushed angular stone is very important, but there are different types of crushed angular stone, that is the natural aggregates, crushed stones, and the manufacturer aggregate. So what are natural aggregates? The natural aggregates are derived from natural rock formations that I already discussed. Now what is the characteristics? These aggregates have an irregular, sharp and angular textures. Their shape enhances bonding with cement. This contributes the higher strength in concrete and construction material. So these are the common use. We are whatever the aggregates we are getting, these the common types of aggregate we are getting, that is the natural aggregates. Now the crushed one, what is the crushed one? It is mechanically created by crushing large rocks. Okay, that also we can make rocks such as limestone, granite, whatever it is. That property, the crushed stones has the angular edges that provides interlocking stability essential for load bearing application. Okay, and the third type is manufactured angular aggregates. The manufactured aggregate, now it is whatever we are thinking is about the sustainable construction. Now what is sustainable construction? Sustainable construction is that we are not harming our environment, right? Because we have only one earth, and from the earth we are getting our raw material for our construction. But if we are digging every time, what will happen? The raw material sources will be less, and there will be an environmental impact overall on the earth. So that is why the sustainable construction is now the mantra. And for the manufactured angular aggregates, that one, this we are manufacturing, it is produced through industrial process, various material like slag, crushed concrete, clay, etc. That is we are recycling to one, and these material are crushed and stored based on their shape and size. So these are the manufacturer aggregates. These aggregates offer flexibility, size and compaction, because we are making, so we can make any type of shapes and any type of texture. So these are the three types of crushed angular. Now what is the main things that we are using the crushed angular one? Because its shape, the angular shapes have the sharp edge in the corner. It compressive and interlocking property is the mode that I already discussed. Next thing is the texture. Now rough texture is the key. These angular aggregates typically have a rough surface texture rather than the rounded one, because the rounded one does not have the rough texture. This roughness increases the surface area available for bonding with the cement paste. So what is our key? So that surface area is more, that means the bonding with the concrete or the concrete paste or the cement paste, it will be more. If the bonding is more, our concrete is more stable and the strength will be more. So that is why this rough texture gives us the better strength, better interlocking property and better durability. It increases the concrete performance. The concrete performance is nothing but the how it withstand with the environment, because we are not doing the concrete for 1 day, 2 day or 3 day. It's a lifelong, maybe 100 years. So in 100 years, how the concrete will not deteriorate due to the environmental impact. So that also increases the concrete performance. Now on the strength and durability, that already I discussed, this enhanced interlocking capabilities contributes higher compressive strength. Thus this brings greater stability of the concrete. Angular aggregates are generally more resistant to wear and tear. This is a crucial factor for the longevity of concrete structure, which plays a major role especially in high traffic areas, because it's, if the higher wear and tear is high, it can deteriorate. That is why with the high traffic area we are making a industrial coating so that the concrete will never deteriorate it. So we have the problem, we have the solution. Now water absorption and another, and the porosity, that is also discussed, because we need to know what is the water absorption and porosity, because whenever we are doing the mix design, we have to consider these two properties, what is the water absorption, what is the porosity, because the aggregate always have some water content in itself. So when we are adding, mixing with the cement and we are adding water into the mix, either these aggregates will release water to the mix or it will absorb water from the mix. These two things happen, but generally it releases the water into the mix. So we need to know what is the water absorption percentage and what is the porosity. On that basis we can adjust our water content into the mix. So that is why we need to know what is the water absorption. The angular aggregates typically have a rough structure, therefore the surface area is greater when compared to the rounded aggregates. So we will discuss this. Increased surface area leads to higher water absorption. This results the need to more water to achieve the desired workability of the concrete mix. So what you need to do, we know that the have the higher water demand, and what higher demand, we need to add water. So if we add more water, what will happen? The water cement ratio will increase, and if the water cement ratio is increased, all we know that the strength will be less and its strength will be less. So if we are planning for the M35, M45, the water cement ratio will be more and the free water will be more inside the concrete, and which is not acceptable. So for that we need to know that how much water it will absorb from the or it will release, or what is the water demand for the crushed angular stone, and accordingly we need to use the water reducing admixture into the mix, so that our water cement ratio will be optimal and there will be no free water to react with the cement or anything else, and it will not deteriorate or it will not decrease the strength. So this has to mention in the so these are the things. See, angular aggregate and the rounded aggregate we will discuss. The what is the difference? See, shape already said the sharp edge is an irregular, where the rounded was smooth, spherical, polished. And what is the interlocking? Excellent interlockings in case of our angular aggregate, and for the rounded one, poor one. And the bonding, high bond strength and the lower bonding strength. Workability is lower because it's require more water, but with the water reducing agent you get, but the rounded aggregate one has the higher, easier to mix and pour. And what is the typical use? We are using in the roads, pavement, in the high strength concrete, and the rounded one and the mass concrete and the decorative finish we are using. So these also are the reason why we are using the crushed angular stone in our concrete, not the rounded one. So I hope you find it useful, and if you find it useful, kindly subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video you will get immediate notification. And If you want to know anything more about quality control and construction, please let me know. I will come with more content like this, and I'm waiting for your valuable comments, so that from your valuable comment everybody will be benefited. And thank you once again for watching me.